Now, there's a question that's popped up here, and we desire to see flourishing cities. COVID and other things can take a toll on pastors. Do you think there's a role for pastors groups to give focus to actually aiding the strength and the resilience and the health of church leaders, even if that's to the detriment of wider city engagement, because there's only limited time and energy? Thoughts on that? I hope I reflected that question appropriately. It's there to read if desired.
Yeah, look, that's a good question. And I mean, in England, we were I was a bit taken aback about the high level of mental health issues among pastors through the COVID, which they seemed to suffer worse than we did. Probably hasn't touched me personally here, because in our city, we had hardly any lockdown at all. I think a few weeks at the beginning 2 years ago. Now, the bigger cities, Sydney and Melbourne, had worse. And there's certainly mental health issues around. And so that needs to be addressed. And there's people working on that. I'm not too sure. Look, and Colin and Grace know this from our days in Toowoomba, where we were built relationally and started to care for one another. We didn't do it perfectly, and people fell through the cracks still. But a lot of, including myself and my wife, saw a lot of encouragement and healing because of our interaction with other pastors. Look, I don't call myself an expert there. Colin and Grace would be much better at it than me and others. But it's a huge area, so it's not all activism. If we don't have a healed body, how can a wounded body heal a wounded city? Not possible. We desperately need healing, and that starts with Christian leaders, of course. And we do need to seek one. Now, one of the things I discovered very early on in Toowoomba, in our time where we had that move for about 15, 20 years, was not to expect pastors to do anything more than what they normally did running churches and coming to the weekly prayer meeting, other than being permission givers. We realized that a lot of the activism didn't come from pastors. It came from others, and especially younger leaders. I mean, some will know about Easter Fest here in Toowoomba. A dynamic young guy in his early 20s made it the biggest thing in Australia, biggest Christian festival, a music festival. And so a lot of things happened, but I realized, look for champions, build teams around them. God will resource them and give permission and release them from traditional church programs, and you'll have a winner. And we've seen that over and over all around Australia now, not just here.
Yeah. Very good. So the resource of the United Church isn't just the pastors. The pastors are the gatekeepers to the members. The members can serve the city. If the focus is releasing that wider manpower and specifically woman power, you've noted as well, as a part of a solution. It may be like a seesaw, isn't it? The pastoral care and the vision of a local church. We're juggling it the whole time, and a pastor who's too activistic will lose members who don't feel cared for, and vice versa.